Volek, buddy, what's up, man?
What's going on, Jay?
All right, this episode, Nick and I discussed a classic show I'm sure you're super familiar with. Why don't you give me a 1-minute synopsis, plot, characters, maybe your feelings on the classic show, Welcome Back, Kotter. Go.
Welcome Back, Kotter is one that I'm presuming we're welcoming back someone from college or...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or maybe a job or maybe a...
Hand job, blow job, yep.
Yeah, maybe one of those. I'm presuming Cotter's the main character, and
Very good.
I'm presuming like a family show, right? You know?
Okay,
like Family Matters, but
that could be considered
dirty,
a family,
but
sure.
dirty, something like that.
You're very familiar with the show. Keep going. You're doing great. You got 30 seconds left.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So it also involves the love of his life coming back into his life, I think, maybe.
Ooh, oh, his wife will be unhappy about that. But
okay, well, he's okay. Well, maybe that's the plot twist, though. You know, the love of his life comes back. He got married, and the love of his life is like, "Hey, welcome back, Kotter. I'm back in town now."
7 seconds. Any last thoughts?
Okay, how far off was I?
I wonder what's on the tube.
Welcome back.
Thank you for being a friend.
What you talking about, Willis?
You are a meathead.
Nothing for you.
Don't touch that dial. Adjust those bunny ears, because what time is it, Jay?
It's time for Sitcom My Face. You know, it's good to see you, Nick.
Great seeing you.
Have I ever really told you about my family?
No, I haven't. I mean, you haven't.
I never told you about, like, my Uncle Herman.
No. Tell me about your Uncle Herman.
It's crazy, man. We got people in my family from all different occupations. Uncle Herman, he's a sports mechanic.
A sports mechanic, you say?
Yeah, he fixes basketball games. Hey, if that's not one way to get into an episode about Welcome Back, Kotter, I don't know what the fuck is.
There we go. Yes, if you haven't figured out already.
Yes, we are talking about the surprisingly short run of Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yeah, 4 seasons?
4 seasons, 95 episodes on ABC from 75 to 74.
Wait,
I really, in my head, kind
75 to 74. Wait, it went back in time?
75 to 79. So, yeah. See, this is what happens when I drink water during a show instead of
there we go. Get this man inebriated.
Oh, God. No. Damn yous. Yeah, 75 to 79 for 4 seasons. That's what I was thinking. Yes, I remember watching this on, I think it was on Nick at Night when I was young. I can't think of anywhere else I would have watched it. Did it make syndication a lot of places besides there? I don't know. Only 4 seasons. It didn't make the 100-episode mark, as we've discussed.
Right, it didn't make the 100-episode mark, but I know I've seen it in syndication, at least in this area. But again, in this area is kind of, the setting. We're talking about I'm not far from Brooklyn.
Yes, this takes place in Brooklyn at the fictional Buchanan High School.
Correct.
Which apparently based on the real school that star Gabe Kaplan attended as a youth, and I think is the one pictured in the opening, right?
I believe so.
I don't remember how to say it, because it was a lot of very... I don't know how to... Maybe you have that in your notes, but... I went to go write it down, and I was like, I'm not even going to try to say this, so I skipped it.
Yeah, it's like,
But, another show about a teacher and a misguided group of youths. This is is this our 3rd show about a teacher in his class?
Well, we said head of the class. And Steve Harvey.
Class, Steve Harvey show. Did we do any other teacher ones?
I'm trying to think if there were any.
This is it.
I think basically that those were the only ones that we've done so far.
Yeah. So you have Gabe Kaplan, who I get he was a stand-up comedian, I assume, which yes. I've never seen a second of his stand-up.
Yeah, he tended to be a little more old school. Like, as you could see the comedy that was written in the show, it's like, he had an affinity for things like the Marx Brothers. He had an affinity for vaudeville, that type of joke-telling.
Very heavily influenced by the Marx Brothers, and I think that's one of the things I really like. Epstein, man, he looks like fucking Chico and Harpo mixed into one. Doesn't he?
He does.
And I know he was also a big fan, they said, and he was kind of the one with Kaplan who decided that the Sweathogs should kind of be like the Marx Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Which once I learned that, I go, yeah, that makes sense. But he looks so much like Chico, and that face structure is definitely Harpo as well.
Yeah.
And Kaplan's always doing Groucho on here, which is hilarious.
And in fact, he is done, if I remember correctly, he did a what do you call it? Like it was a live production thing for a while about, like being Groucho. He was portraying Groucho Marx. Yeah, let's see, 82, he portrayed Groucho Marx in a play called Groucho. Then there was a filmed version of it, and I think there was, like, a live version that was going for a while that's been taken on, like, other people have taken on the mantle over the years.
I want to say the Wikipedia said that Groucho was supposed to appear on this show, but when he showed up, I think it was he really sick later in life, and he was they decided that it wouldn't be right to put him on the show so weak and...
Yeah, I was going to say to portray him anyway other than how you saw him back in, like, the films.
Yeah, so I think they decided they're like... And they did say some photos later did surface of him with the casts on that never aired, or never even recorded, I don't think. But
yeah, but, like, if you ever listen to Gilbert Gottfried's podcast, he had, like,
he's got the best Marx Brothers info, man.
Best Marx Brothers info. He was a huge Marx Brothers fan, but one of his ongoing impressions that he would do is old Groucho.
Yeah, old Groucho. Yeah.
Back in my time, we had things called letters, and on these letters we would put stamps. Now, you see, a stamp would cost you 2 cents. But then...
What was that later show you had? You Bet Your Ass? Or what the hell?
You bet your life.
That's a,
God, if you were the producer, it would have been called You Bet Your Ass. But...
Oh, man.
Hard
times when you got to bet your ass, I'll tell you what.
And for all those that have never watched a Marx Brothers movie, just go out, you will have a great time because they are some classics.
Ooh, Room Service with Lucy. You got to see that one. And A Day at the Races is probably my favorite. A lot of people say Duck Soup, but Day at the Races.
Oh, yeah. I actually have a bunch of the movies, and the first one that I saw was Duck Soup.
Yeah. That's the big one. That's the one that's on all the lists.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he plays Gabe Kaplan plays Gabe Kotter, as Freddie Boom Boom would say.
Yeah, Mr. Kotter.
Who actually, he comes back. It's called Welcome Back, Kotter, because he comes back to the school that he attended, where he actually used to be one of the Sweathogs.
Right. And what is a Sweathog?
It's the remedial class.
The remedial class, like, kind of like supposed to be portrayed as the miscreants, the ones that'll never amount to anything, as like as Mr. Woodwin would bring up.
Apparently, the teachers' union was very nervous about this show because they thought they were going to be portraying these kids as like criminals.
Right.
And it wasn't until they seen the show they were like, okay, they're more goofy. And that it was the guy who played Epstein, who also wanted to make the kids more like the Marx Brothers. So they were like, oh, okay, good. I guess they even wanted to have like a teacher union rep on the set, and they were like, fuck you. Like, no.
Why do we need that?
his Kaplan's comment was pretty funny, though. He said something like, what, do you got a junk man over on the set of Sanford and Son to make sure the junk don't look bad? You know, like, he goes, get the fuck out of here.
FYI, that will be coming soon.
coming to a podcast near you. No, Mr. Woodman, though, I like the fact that he actually was Mr. Kotter's teacher when he was a student there, and he was a Sweathog.
Right.
Which is a fun little... Of course, in the Steve Harvey show, we also had his little connection with the principal, in this case, vice principal.
Yes.
Because do we ever really see... I didn't see him in any of mine, Mr. Lazarus, the actual principal.
Principal Lazarus. He's brought up umpteen times, but I don't think we've ever seen Principal Lazarus on any of the episodes.
Was that a pun you just did there? Mr. Lazarus brought up?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Bring me to life.
No, I guess he's very close to Epstein, though, because Epstein's always in his office. And he calls him Jack, right? Oh, Jack said, it's like, why the fuck is Epstein such good friends with the principal we never see? Interesting. But yeah, you have the main cast, besides Mr. Kotter. You have his wife, Julie, who I didn't even realize was the actress from, I know her from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yep.
She was also on MASH.
Yes.
Early, right?
Nurse
Early
Cutler.
Seasons? She left that for this, or vice versa? What was it?
Yeah, I think it was vice versa, because now I don't know.
She was on the end of this.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I know she left MASH at some point. I read an article.
No, you're right. Actually, she was on the earliest seasons of MASH, and then left for this. Okay.
And then hated this. She did not like working on the show and did not get along with Gabe Kaplan, apparently.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising. Like, they had good chemistry.
Yeah, actually, that you could tell she's a great actress, because I never got it from the show.
Right.
That she despised him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I knew her best from those movies, the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movies. I think she's in all three of them. She's also passed. A lot of this cast, again, we cover this frequently, unfortunately. A lot of this cast is gone. I think Freddie Boom Boom's still alive, Gabe Kaplan.
John Travolta. Yeah.
So yeah, the rest of the cast, as I said, Freddie Boom Boom Washington, great character. And I never even remembered that he was the one who always said, Kotter, and I've been saying that for fucking 30 years of my life. Since he
was Kotter. And then,
hello there. What was that? Was that his catchphrase?
Yes. Hi there.
Yeah.
And then,
of course, John Travolta. Everyone knows.
Yes, as
John
Vinny
Travolta.
Barbarino.
Yep, this was his big first break.
Correct. Yeah, John Travolta of Englewood, New Jersey.
Oh.
Yes.
Now of Planet Gagalon or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, God. Battlefield Earth?
Yeah, Battlefield Earth.
Oh. Yes, up there with the classic movies of all time.
People were like, what the fuck are they talking about? Scientology kids, look it up.
Now, also, Travolta, though, for the last season, he was only special guest. Even though he did show up at a decent number of episodes, he was only as a special guest.
Yeah, even Tubi, they list guest starring, which this show had a lot of great guest stars we'll get to. But the episodes actually listed guest starring so-and-so, and by the time you get to the final season, it's saying guest starring John Travolta. You're like, oh, shit, okay. Yeah, he was only in 10 episodes last season, and I think Gabe Kaplan was in even less than that.
Yeah.
Five or something?
Yeah, because, like... Let's say the first two where he becomes the new vice principal, and then
Woodman gets promoted to principal,
right?
Which actually interesting. We'll definitely get to other shows where the main actor kind of leaves the show.
Correct.
This is a weird one where they don't even. He's still in the same school. It's not like he left.
Yeah.
Like head of the class where he left to another city or something. It's like no, he's just in the office across the hallway, but you still never fucking see him. All because of contract negotiations.
And then the strange thing is his wife starts working at the school too. So we actually see more of her in later episodes.
And they just had twins too. So she's a new mother, decides I'm going to become a substitute teacher.
Substitute teacher / secretary at Buchanan.
Yeah. But Mr. Woodman also taught a lot in the last season. The fucking principal all of a sudden is teaching the class.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know that they would about... Although, I honestly would rather have it that way than them introduce a brand new random character, too, as a teacher.
True.
But they said that the way they tried to work around that was that they had less and less scenes in the actual classroom. You'd be with the Sweathogs in the locker room or the hallway or on the basketball court, or so they were trying to move it away from the classroom. But yeah, I guess he broke his contract, Kaplan.
I think so.
So it's like I don't know what.
Yeah,
exactly
what's going on there?
But, yeah, didn't get along with the wife, broke the contract, and
although he was one of the co-creators of the show.
I guess their idea was, well, we can still call it Welcome Back, Kotter if we have Mrs. Kotter.
right. Welcome back. Well,
technically,
we still have a Kotter.
We still have a Kotter, yeah.
Yeah, but it was
got one of his 1,000 uncles to come in and be a teacher.
Did I ever tell you about my uncle? No.
But yeah, the other two Sweathogs we have not mentioned yet.
Yes.
Horshack, Arnold Horshack.
Yeah, Arnold Horshack or Arnold Dingfelder Horshack. I was looking up some of the full names. I'm like, oh my God. But
yeah, give me Epstein's full name because Jesus Christ, he had 15 goddamn names.
Oh yeah. Oh, Epstein was Juan Luis Pedro Filippo de Huevos Epstein.
De Huevos? Isn't that balls? What is that? I'm no Spanish speaker, but I thought huevos was testicles or something.
Or eggs or something. I don't know.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I think the only other thing I knew Horshack from was I talked about on our horror episode about he's in Friday the 13th Part 6.
Right,
the opening there in the resurrecting Jason.
Yeah, and also he was one of the participants in the celebrity boxing. No. I think that was on Fox. And oh God,
Danny Bonaducci or what?
No, he actually wound up fighting Dustin Diamond.
I was just gonna say Screech. Why did I think that? Yeah, both dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Freddie Boom Boom there. He went on to do a lot of shows after this, but I don't know any of them. He starred in a bunch of shit after this.
Oh yeah, he did actually go on to a lot of things. I don't know if some of them were also single episodes or what, but yeah, he just seemed like he was the same character in a few of them too. It's let's see, L.A. Heat. That was a movie. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was in L.A. Heat, Angels of the City, L.A. Vice. It's he was in those three. But yeah, as far as television, he did get some big roles. He was on Roots. He was on. God, yeah,
I was up for that part. Damn it.
Really? You were up for Noah in Roots?
Yeah, dude. Why are you laughing? I don't.
and here's a strange one. There was a spin-off of Welcome Back, Kotter called Mr. T and Tina.
Yeah, I know. I saw that because I watched the episode. One of the many cool guest stars I saw, Pat Morita of Karate Kid, famously, and
Mr. Miyagi,
the guy who left Happy Days.
Yes, Arnold.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, Freddie Boom Boom Washington was also on the pilot episode of that as well.
Well, and I watched that episode where it's a career day one. I don't know if you watched that one, but he comes in and he's a Japanese inventor. And you're like, yeah, it's cool to see him. But then I read there was a spinoff. I'm like, that's the character you chose to spin off? It's weird. Right. And I wonder.
It's all the Sweathogs that you could have used. And
Right. But yeah, actually, I love the apartment on this show. They live in a studio, basically apartment with a fold-out bed.
Yep.
And I love the weird choice of the decor because nothing matches. And for some reason, the closet door is labeled closet. It's what the fuck?
Yeah, well, just in case, you forget.
There's a weird racing stripe kind of along the wall, and it comes down over the door, and over the door along that stripe, it says closet. But you didn't label the bathroom. I feel like that's the more important one.
That's water closet.
Did so many people who stayed over get up and go piss in the closet? They were like, fuck, we better label that the closet because people keep shitting in there. This was a weird choice. And then the dining room wall is just baskets, just decorated in baskets. Who the fuck?
I don't know. Again, it was
do move in
a
the
very
last season.
small apartment, as we were made to believe, until, what was it, second season, I think, when Epstein helps them get a newer apartment.
Yeah, his uncle's renting it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. After they have the twins, I think, so probably like season 3. I watched that 3-parter in the 3rd season where they get. I always got to watch the cliche ones. The birth. There was two trapped in episodes. They get trapped in the museum. You got a guest spot by John Aston. All about they're trapped in like a mummies exhibit and they're freaking out. And then there's another one which I did not watch, but sounds awful fucking familiar. I think Night Court had the same one, right? Where they're trapped in the elevator and a woman's giving birth.
Oh God, yes, that's right.
And I was like, I love those stereotypical cliche sitcom moments.
Definitely.
I didn't see any amnesias. I was waiting for amnesia.
Yeah,
this
I
is
don't
a
think we
prime
had
show
any.
for amnesia.
Although I guess Barbarino had a lot of, amnesia because a lot of his replies were, "What? Where? Why?"
And they said that Epstein, the amount of people in Epstein's family kept changing, so they just decided that. Like, I think he said at one point he had 10 siblings, but at one other episode he says that she gave birth 8 times. So like, it must have been twins twice or something.
Right.
Like, they just had to keep. Oh fuck, we fucked up. This is also a weird series where the pilot is the 3rd episode, so that threw me off. Did you notice that they must be in the order of air date on Tubi?
Mm-hmm.
So it's still called episode 3, but it's the first episode where he comes to become the teacher.
Yeah, it is kind of strange
when they throw him out of order. They usually will throw the pilot first.
Right.
So, but there must have been something, and then ABC's like, well, this one's not going to sell the show. Let's get this one. It's got James Woods in it.
I'm looking at the other teacher there for the head of the debate team there, and I'm like, that kind of looks like James Woods, and I'm like, looking up IMDb, it's like, okay, cast for this episode, holy shit, that's James Woods.
I know, seeing him in that first episode, I was like, oh shit, is he on this show? I would have loved to see more.
Yeah, no, and that was his only episode.
And then George Carlin pops up in an episode playing the radio DJ. Where Freddie Boom Boom gets the job at the radio station. I was like, oh, and you know what's weird though is they didn't really. Carlin wasn't the funny guy, and he was the straight guy in those scenes, which was really strange to see.
I know well, if you go back to some of his early work, he played a little, even though he was a comedian, he played a little bit of a straight guy, but he was injecting some of that humor in until he decided to say, oh, fuck it, and then became, the whole counterculture, the Carlin that we love.
He already had to be a huge stand-up by then, though, by 75, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And I think even when he came out, it was like the audience, wah! It wasn't like he was a no-name, Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I was like, wow, weird. He's letting the kids have all the jokes, which was very strange.
What did you think of Arnold Horshack?
Very funny. I love the ooh. Well, and he does the dumb nerd very well. It's easy for we've discussed it a million times. It's so easy for that kind of character to get annoying. And I think I loved Bullethead on the Steve Harvey show. I don't remember if you exactly loved him.
Oh, I remember. Yes.
I liked Bullethead a lot, and I think him and Horshack are actually very similar in that sense, where they play stupid, but they play it in a unique enough way where they don't annoy the piss out of you, like a fucking Monroe or an Urkel or a Kimmy Gibbler in your case you really hated.
Yeah,
I think of the stereotypical geeks we've seen, I think he's a pretty fucking funny one.
I gotta ask you. Did you freak out when in season 2 a certain character was introduced?
Was it Carvelli?
Carvelli?
Yes. I've mentioned my favorite movie on here a million times, and I was very pleased to see when Carvelli showed up. I was like, holy shit, it's Charles Fleischer.
Yep.
The voice of Roger Rabbit in Who Framed Roger Rabbit and other tiny cartoon figures. But yes.
I completely forgot about that character.
Yeah.
And then while I'm watching, I'm like, Jay's going to love this.
Yes, I couldn't believe it. And like, it's funny because his early career, he does pop up in weird shit. Like whenever I watch Nightmare on Elm Street, I always forget he's in there.
Oh, right.
He's like the neurologist or something.
Yeah, the doctor guy. Yeah,
and you're like,
wait,
fuck, Roger Rabbit is the. So yeah, I totally had forgotten that he was even part of the show. So yeah, when he popped up, I was like, oh shit, Roger.
Oh yeah.
Please.
But
which it definitely shows you how great his performance is, because he doesn't sound like Roger at all.
No, not at all in this show.
No. You would expect someone with a Horshack voice to be playing Roger. You know. I also recognized was it Hotsy Totsy from Police Academy.
Oh God,
she's like the acrobatic wife who's chasing her husband, leaping over shit and through pools. And remember that on the beginning of Police Academy?
Oh my God.
She also comes back in the third one, I believe, and becomes a cadet.
Yeah, I forgot about, like, I haven't seen that movie in like ages. Like
the first one's fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, the first one's hysterical. And then
the rest are okay.
I think one, up to maybe what, 3. It's like you know, the watchability is still there, and I think after that we kind of just lose the whole thing. All I know is
6 being kind of fun. It's like a mystery, but 7 is terrible in Moscow.
yeah. And I'm trying to remember which one it was, but yeah, one of my friends as like pledging for his fraternity actually had to go to the theater to see one of the later Police Academy movies.
For a fraternity?
Yeah, as part of his pledging, like he actually had to go. It's like. Oh,
I always just love that the first one's like hard R-rated. There's like nudity and racism, and then by the time you get to part 7, it's like PG, and it's like goofy dance numbers. You're like, what the fuck happened? There's a cartoon show.
now here's something I gotta ask.
3 inches.
Okay, that too. But what's your take on characters that are? It's usually, it seems like always like last season that are just like kind of shoehorned in there.
I didn't.
I'm talking about Bo.
Yeah, Bo. I didn't catch any with Bo, but I did see some of the things that were written about him. Well, apparently they wanted a replacement for Travolta, but they didn't want to clone him. They didn't want the same type of character.
Yeah, because he's handsome and friendly and that and. But now he's like, from the South, like from New Orleans or something. And
well, that was, they said too, they wanted to get the Southern demographic.
Yes.
Because the idea of the show being in Brooklyn and the type of Italian and Jewish students they had was completely foreign to Southern people. So they tried to use him to get the and they wanted to keep the females. Because Travolta, they said, when Travolta left, they started to feel like they were losing the female audience. Mm-hmm. So,
what they
Southerners and females?
the girls weren't watching for Gabe Kaplan.
Yeah, right. So, actually, tell me this: if you noticed it, especially the first season, like I think he's very funny and very charming on here, but you can tell that he doesn't really know how to act in the beginning, especially in the jokey parts. I feel like he's reading cue cards, and almost all of them.
Travolta.
No, Kaplan in the first season.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he's like reading the cue cards or, there is something slightly slow sometimes about his performance.
He gets better. And it wasn't like definitely. He's bad, but it definitely, especially like when he has big monologue jokies, like especially the uncle jokes that are very long.
Yeah.
It seems like he's not looking at the actress. He's not looking near the camera. That's
true.
He's looking over here at like cue cards, and you can almost tell he's reading.
Yeah, and I have to say, I wonder how many of those, like, oh, did I ever tell you about my uncle? Did I ever tell you about my cousin? Like, if they just filmed a whole bunch of those. And just tack them onto beginnings and ends of the episodes, because after a while, did you really need to, like, oh, okay, well, we need the setting for this episode? No, they were so detached from what the episode was.
But I did start paying attention. He wears the same clothes as the episode.
Ah, okay.
So, like, even if he's in the bathroom, there's one where he's like in the bathroom mirror doing it to himself.
Yes.
And he comes out, and I even was paying attention. He comes out in the episode, he's wearing the same outfit.
Oh,
so they are,
okay.
But I do like that they even got played out with their own joke, because they'd usually begin it and end it with one of these uncle type jokes. But later in the like third season, remember he like calls up his uncle? Like they start doing those jokes where he calls his uncle. He's like, "Hey, Uncle Abe, I'm running out of jokes. Did you do anything funny this month?" And he's like asking him. He's like, no. All right, whatever. And click. And like that's the joke. And then later, like one of the kids, I remember one Freddie tells him some joke about a rubber pillow to erase his aunt's ugly face, and he goes, "Can you tell me that one more?" And he starts writing it down. Rubber pillow, ugly. Thank you. And he's like, now I got my next joke to tell my wife.
God, do you remember the one at the hospital with Woodman telling the joke? It's like,
oh yeah, the shoes.
Yeah, the shoe. It's like
it went on for like 5 minutes. You're like, shut up.
It's like this is where we got, and it wasn't like some kind of funny punchline like a Norm would have. Like he'd have that long joke and some corny punchline, but it was funny.
That was one of the
journey. The journey was like so funny, and then the punchline.
Yeah, you think he got some girl pregnant. He says he got a girl in trouble, and it's some
in trouble. Yeah,
like addicted to shoes or running off. Or, I don't know.
She ran off with the guy at the shoe place.
But that's also a great running joke. Is whenever Kotter's telling some boring, long-winded story, the kids are willing to boring. You're being very boring.
Yeah,
usually Horshack. Yeah, he's like, that was very boring, Mr. Kotter. Yeah. Was Verna Jean? I knew her. Did you recognize her from anything?
Verna Jean. I'm trying to
remember. She was one
remember.
of the African American students. She was in, I think, like 14 or 15 episodes.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was Freddie's girlfriend. Yeah.
She was Will Smith's mother, Vi, on Fresh Prince. That's
wow.
Yeah, she's in a million other things, but I was like, oh shit, that's Will's mom. Yeah.
But let's see. Then we had a couple of recurring characters like Bambi. Where was it? Susan Lanier played Bambi. She was in the one episode in season 1 where she pretends she's from California, and like all the guys are going gaga over her, and she's like playing up to also Kotter himself, like okay, she wants to, get in trouble with her teacher type of thing. And turns out like she's actually from Texas, and she's like just caused chaos everywhere she's gone. But she actually shows up a few other times, like through the series, but in just like very quick like cameos, it seems.
Yeah, I noticed like they would bring in new students, like new characters, to do the more dramatic storylines, like the suicidal girl and shit.
Right.
Probably because they're like, well, we don't want to have one of our guys be the.
But the only I think difference was the one with Freddie, where like
he's addicted to pills or something.
Yep, the addicted to pills, where like he was taking painkillers from a knee injury from the basketball game, but then to counteract that, he was taking vitamins, which basically uppers.
And then he said, "I'm so excited. I'm so." Oh, yeah, Saved by the Bell. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a different one.
Scared.
I love though how Woodman said, like, it's like, yeah, Washington, he came into the lunchroom this morning or whatever, and like he stepped in a tray of peas and said, "I'm the Jolly Black Giant," and then he went to me like, "Come to me, Sprout." Like, it's like,
Freddie had a lot of great lines and like a lot of great moments. Like I love his game with the fucking when he plays basketball against Kotter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just sitting there and he's just like, "Can you just do me a favor and sweat?" Because he's just pristine. He's just fucking. There's some great fucking lines on this show. Even though in the one with Pat Morita, when they're all trying to pretend to be Japanese, like to impress him to get this other job he's offering. and fucking Mr. Woodman, he's literally wearing like a kimono and the bandana and shit, and they're all talking with the accent.
Gosh.
And he goes, Mr. Takakashi, or whatever the hell his name is, he goes, you know, I never understood the big deal about Pearl Harbor. I think they blew it out of proportion.
Jeez. Oof.
You're like, damn. He's willing to sell his own country out to get a fucking job that pays 3 times his salary.
That, did you also, like, as far as the last season, like the whole change?
I watched the first 2-parter.
Yeah, but then, like, the change in writing just, like, became very apparent, like, and, yeah, like, again, Travolta was only a special guest star. Mm-hmm. And, like, I think it was, like, kind of like, okay, what else can we just come up with? It was basically Sweathogs in the world. Like, you know, working at the hospital, working at the antique store, working at the gym, working at the...
As far as the writing goes, this is not really, as we say, a story show. I think the characters are what hold this show up.
Yeah, character-driven, totally.
Luckily, I think the Sweathogs are so fun and funny.
Yeah.
That even if their jokes aren't well written, they can deliver a laugh from that. Horseshack's lines are not always funny, but the way he says them is
delivery.
Funny.
Yeah.
Did you see that Shanling was a writer on this? I forgot. We may have mentioned that before.
No, I didn't.
In another episode. Gary Shanling wrote for this show.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but there was a big writers redo in the final season. I know a bunch of writers left.
Yeah, because one of the reasons I saw was because actually, well, Travolta is already becoming popular. He's not going to be in like the whole season.
He had already done Grease and Saturday Night Fever. And
yep.
Carrie.
Right. Yeah, so it's like, oh, okay. And I read he only got, for each of those special guest episodes, $2,000.
I did see that. $2,000
it's like,
bucks an episode. Holy shit. And he's probably getting, you know, a lot more than that for those movies he was doing.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit.
So, yeah, but yeah, it is weird when you only really have 6-7 characters and you lose basically 2 of them. I mean, technically, they're still there, but...
Yeah.
Even that first episode of the last season is the first day of school, and they all come in the classroom, and he's like, oh, where's Vinny? He'll turn up.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And he does come in, like, the last part of that episode, but it's just kind of, I think, gearing you up for the rest of the season, like, hey, there might be some scenes without him, wink, wink, just so you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's always weird when people get bigger than the show they're on. Like, I remember I was really into that Bates Motel, and there was this actress on there, and they built her up for like 4 seasons or something, and you're like, oh, he's gonna kill her. It's like Norman Bates, you know, Psycho. Mm-hmm. They're building her up, and you're like, oh, she's gonna be his victim, and then she went off and did like a Transformers movie and left the show, and then there's like, oh, whatever. And then you're like, what the fuck? You just built this bitch up for 4 years. Now she's
I hate like, that type of thing. Shit. It's like,
oh, it drives me nuts. Yeah, it drives me insane. But yeah, this show did it in one of the weirdest ways. Because like we said, usually they're just gone.
Mm-hmm.
This one just kind of kept sprinkling them. So, I mean, would I rather have that? Probably.
Yeah. Definitely.
What did you think? How did you feel about it?
Again, you know, the last season... It was very uneven just for the fact of, you know, the Travolta there, not there. But like I said, it was really kind of, it wasn't really about school anymore. It really was like them going on to other things, like Arnold getting married and, you know.
Well, as it should be, because they were all pushing 30 by the time the show ended.
Yeah.
So. I think Kaplan was only like 2 or 3 years older than Epstein or something. Like,
yeah.
I think it literally said that they were all 25 to 30 by the time the show ended. So it's like, yeah.
Now I have to ask you, as we all, we always point out for the thing. What did you think about the theme song?
I love this theme song.
Same here.
Sang by Mace. No, I'm just kidding. There was. Did you ever hear the Mace remake of this?
No.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. It was when I was in high school. They did like a a hip hop version of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to check it out.
I think you'd like. Yeah.
But yeah,
I love this theme song, sang by John Sebastian.
Yep, and for people not familiar with John Sebastian, he was one of the people, or actually, he was the front man for the Loving Spoonful. Loving Spoonful, you might know a few of their songs, like Summer in the City, Did You Ever Have to Make Up Your Mind, Daydream, Do You Believe in Magic, the thing that they use for McDonald's commercials.
Did you see his song was so catchy, that's what actually gave the show the title. Because it was originally just called Kotter.
Right. Yeah, the show was originally going to be called Kotter, but because of the theme show lyrics, it's like, oh.
He said he couldn't fucking find anything to do with just the word Kotter. There was no, like, words that rhymed.
Yeah.
So he's like, he went based on the premise of the show of him coming back to his old school. So he's like, welcome back, welcome back. And then they're like, yeah, it's a better name. Fuck it. We'll call it Welcome Back Kotter.
Exactly.
So, yeah. This is one of those, and I've said it before, those 70s shows are just so fucking comforting, man.
It is. It really, watching it, like you said, wasn't like, the greatest writing.
No.
The jokes weren't always the greatest jokes, but like, you loved the characters. It was a character-driven show. The delivery that they gave of these lines, like, even just simple things like, the Travolta, like, what? Where? What?
Yeah.
Or, like,
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Yeah.
Like,
although in the first episode, it's a garden hose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, but it's just like, I just sat back and enjoyed, like, from hearing that, theme song, and it's one of those, I never skipped the theme song.
No, I only skipped the last two because I was on a time constraint, getting close to record time. Otherwise, I would have
there we go.
No, I love the theme song. And like I said, I don't know why these 70s shows are so comforting to me. I wasn't even alive. I wasn't born until 86. But there's something about the way these shows are shot. I don't know if it's the mindset or just the whimsy, the goofiness. It's just something about these shows. Your fucking Good Times, your fucking Bob Newhart. Mm-hmm. All those shows are just so damn comforting. Even All in the Family, when they're talking about crazy shit. Oh yeah, there's just something about the way it's shot. Maybe the colors and the low definition.
You know what? You bring up a good point. Okay, this show, All in the Family, like a lot of shows that were based in the New York area, you had a lot of muted colors because that was kind of, when you look at 70s New York, that's what it was walking down the street. It was, like a little grimier. It was a little more muted. It wasn't, the bright lights, big city, like a Vegas or LA or something, Hollywood. So it was like, it's almost like they took some of those, that palette and kind of like threw it into the show. So nothing was too, how do you want to say? Like, I don't know, like it didn't offend.
Well, and for me, I feel like it's got to have something to do with the slower pacing and the editing. Like, they let it breathe, as they say. They're not fucking in your face with the crazy edits like they are today.
True.
And I just think, it's almost like some of these shows are willing to let the scene play out in a wide shot. You know what I mean?
That's
and you're
true.
Like, wow, I can see everyone's reactions. I'm not cutting to a fucking someone else's face every 2 seconds like nowadays.
Mm-hmm. I will bring this up, though. Also in season 4, did a little bit of the scene-to-scene editing throw you off with the new, like, it's almost like, oh, we got a new toy, like, not sweep shots, but it's like, oh, okay, and here's like a little like flashing square coming on the screen. Okay, here's the new shot. And it's like, That bothered me in the last season.
I remember I got a camcorder when I was like 8 years old, and every transition I did was like a star sweep in or out or some fucking whoosh across. Yeah, it did feel like that. You're right.
Yeah.
I remember specifically a lot of the ones I saw in 4th season was a square. The whole scene would go down into a little square in the middle.
Yep.
And then kind of bloop out, and you're like, yeah, that did get a little weird. Luckily, I didn't watch that many in the 4th season, but I did go, huh, interesting.
But but other than that, like you said, those like large, like actually full shots versus like close-ups and snap cuts that we're used to in modern day. Like it just worked better for the types of shows that these were.
Did you see who played Horshack's mom?
I'm trying to remember. It
was Travolta's mom.
Oh, that's right. What's his mom's name? Ellen Travolta, I think it's her name.
Yeah, sounds right. Yeah, she played Horshack's mom, which I thought was kind of funny. Probably because didn't they mention that Vinny's mom was kind of abusive, so maybe they didn't want to have her.
Yeah.
I don't want to play the woman abusing my own child, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed revisiting this.
Same here. Like I was glad that you and I were discussing. It's like, this is a short one, but it was filled with so much, like, as you said, it's just like hominess. It's like just kind of going back and relaxing along with the Sweathogs.
I think the only other note I had was I wrote one quote, and I think it's from when she's about to give birth. He just says,
Julia.
He's going off to work, and he just goes, "If your water breaks, don't touch the toaster."
Yes. Yes, that was one of the. It's like, okay, I'll call Woodman. Woodman will call.
Yeah.
Oh no! You call Woodman. Woodman will contact me. I'll contact Dr. Melvin. Okay, it's like he'll contact the hospital, and we'll all convene there.
Yeah, I think this show is very fun, very easy to watch, and I'm glad that we revisited it because
very much so.
I always see the complete series fairly cheap, so one of these days I might have to grab it.
That sounds like a good one.
Walmart's TV section is booming, man. They got fucking all the TV shows for fairly cheap. That WKRP box set is creeping down in price too. I keep looking at that.
Oh, definitely let me know on that one because that's the one you can't really. I don't think it is available in streaming right now, is it? WKRP?
It could it changes all the time now, though.
But it's all because of the music. Like with that show, there were so many things over the. We've discussed this before with streaming rights versus DVD rights versus first time showing. They're all different, and because of the reruns and that, it's like, oh, well, you don't have the rights now. It's like, okay.
Who are you to tell me what my rights are? Oh.
What about my lefts?
We haven't had to go to the list in a while, but where do you think this should fall on the list, my friend?
Oh yeah, like I was really like looking at this, and like you said, it was though like going back to an old friend. So I think it's actually higher than I thought it was going to be.
Hey, I ain't gonna judge you for that.
I'd actually.
If you move Clarissa up, I might judge you, but I can't judge you for this one.
Oh, God, don't remind me. Don't remind me. I'm going to actually say that this... I'm going to put this at number 23.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's right above F Troop. And right below Three's Company.
Wow. Okay, so this is our 47th show, and you had it at 23.
Yeah, so
that's not bad.
It's a little ahead of the curve. It's in the upper echelon there.
I also have it near F Troop, but my F Troop is much higher.
Right.
So I think this is super comparable, as I said, to the Steve Harvey Show.
Mm-hmm.
In the formula, the characters. I just think the Steve Harvey Show is a more modern version of
definitely.
this, obviously. I have the Steve Harvey Show at number 17. I have Toast of London, which was our last show we covered.
Correct.
At 16. And at 15, I have Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Just above that, I have the Mary Tyler Moore Show at 14 and F Troop at 13.
Got it.
So that's kind of where it falls for me. I think it's so fun. All these shows right here, for me, are easy watches. You know?
Yeah. And when we were going over that list, you know, if you missed our last episode, we were talking about 70s versus 80s, and you know, really getting back into some of these 70s show, like, you know, really seeing how these were shot, what the characters were like, what they were allowed to say and do. It's like, oh, it really is going back home.
And Mr. Franco, I hope you're comfortable in the 70s, and listeners, because it seems like we might be there for a little bit.
Yes.
We might be dabbling in the 70s some more come next episode. So
yes. And with a possible very special guest.
Yes.
Which
and not the voice in my head this time. Shut up, Steve. Oh, fucking dude. I hate that guy.
Well, if they want to watch the last episode, you know, if you want to catch more of Sitcom My Face, where should the people go? There, Jay?
Anywhere you get your favorite podcasts, including iTunes, including Spotify. We are up on YouTube. You might be watching it there. If you are, make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you very much. You can find our Facebook page, facebook.com/sitcommyface. You can follow us on pretty much all social media, I think, at this point, especially Twitter at sitcommyface. You can find me on all those same things at BidwellFog, or him at Netnick191. And don't forget, some cities are still showing Deer Camp 86. We had a great run in theaters. We'll talk more about that, I think, on the next episode. But thank you all for showing support. Great news coming soon on that front. But also, we have a release date. You can pre-order the Blu-ray and DVD.
Correct.
On Amazon, Walmart, Bull Moose, Deep Discount, wherever you buy your physical media. Best Buy and Target, I think, are out of the game, but everyone else is still in the game. So
yeah, I think it's what, July
9th.
9th. Okay.
July 9th, we are on DVD and Blu-ray, Deer Camp 86.
But yeah, get your pre-orders in now.
Yes. Thank you all for your support. Oh, I got the newer hat. This was from their
nice.
Their Texas festival they gave me.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Yes. Thank you all. And I really hope that you have a great time next time you squat down and sitcom my face.
Bye, Buck.
I need my chew and a beer.